1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Now, people, let me know if you can, you can hear and see me good. I don't know why this is here. Live view comment show up on StreamYard. Just click on the comment to show it on the screen. Okay, I know that already. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, my people. So yeah, let me know if you can hear me clearly. If anybody's watching right now, I want to make sure things are on point. Today, I'm excited about this episode, man. It's a really dope episode. Let me adjust. I'm using a new. I'm using setting new to adjust my computer. So yeah, if anybody's live checking me out, let me know if I sound good. If my sound is coming through crispy, I pray it is. I work hard to make sure that it does. And I want to thank you for tuning in, man. My name is June, the GM. Once again, the GM don't stand for general manager, but it stands for good money. Because when you invest your time in me, you can expect a good return. And I thank you, man. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for coming through tonight. And today I got a pretty good episode that I'm passionate about. Really passionate about this episode. As you know, the title, Lamar Jackson, the king with no throne. Now, unless you've been living underneath a rock, there is no way that you don't know who Lamar Jackson is. Lamar Jackson, personally, to me, is my favorite player in the NFL. He's my favorite quarterback, and right now he's my favorite player, Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson comes with a lot of things. And we're going to start off by talking about, took a lot of notes, man. As you guys can see, woo, that's just one page. I got like 3 pages of notes, but I'm doing it old school. I like writing. But I want to start first with this. For those that don't know about Lamar Jackson, he's the 2016 Heisman Trophy winner. He's the youngest ever to win the Heisman Trophy. 19 years old. So Lamar Jackson was 19 when he won the Heisman Trophy, which is crazy, right? Think about that. 19 years old. In the year he won the Heisman Trophy, he was the first player ever to throw for over 3,000 yards and run for over 1,500 yards in 1 year. He was responsible for 51 total touchdowns that year that he won the Heisman Trophy at Louisville. He won the Maxwell Walter Camp Award. You name it, he won the award. But if you really think about that year that he had, to throw for over 3,000 yards and run for over 1,500 yards in the same season, and to have 51 total touchdowns is unheard of. We talk about college football. This ain't D2, D3. We're talking about Division I college football. These are the numbers he put up. Matthew, if you don't want to get banned, please don't hit me with no stupid comment like Lamar sucks. He is in the top 20 quarterback, because I consider that trolling. So the next asinine comment I see you make, I'm kicking you off the channel, because you're making no damn sense to disrespect Lamar Jackson. Matter of fact, let's do this. I said, I don't got no time for troll dudes, man. I got this dude who's been trying to poke me, man, trolling me from other sites. And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not jumping on nobody else's sites, man, talking no more, things of that nature. You got a lot of trolls that ain't about that life. They like to really be disrespectful and talk crazy and then act like it's all good, like this is just what we do, talk crazy and disrespect. And I'm not with them, man. I'm not on here to argue with people. I'm not on here to debate anybody. I ain't Skip Bayless. You know, if I'm gonna do something like that, I want to get paid for it. But I'm here to talk about the sport I love most, man, football. So once again, Lamar Jackson on his Heisman Trophy year, 2016, was the first ever to run for over 1,500 yards and pass for over 3,000 yards. 51 total touchdowns, okay? The youngest ever to win the Heisman. So let's fast forward. The Ravens jumped back into the first round at 32. I believe they traded with Philly to draft Lamar Jackson at number 32. Think about that. Those crazy stats that Lamar Jackson had. And he went number 32 in the first round. I'm going to tell you why he went 32. They wanted to make him a wide receiver. Yeah. So the talent experts wanted to make Lamar Jackson a wide receiver. Yeah, a wide receiver. That's how much they know about talent. Now, we can admit he was a little raw passing the rock. He still probably isn't the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Smoothest looking pocket quarterback there is, because he's not a pocket quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback. But the man could throw the ball. He got the arm. He got the gun for an arm. He can throw that ball in tight spaces. He's an NFL caliber quarterback when it comes to him just being in the pocket. But when he uses his legs, it makes him who I think he is, the best quarterback in football. I know you'll think it's Patrick Mahomes, but let me ask you a question. With the way Andy Reid calls games, can Lamar Jackson win Super Bowls if he was the quarterback of KC? I believe so. Now, you're probably saying, wait a minute. Lamar Jackson has an incredible coach in John Harbaugh. What I'm going to say might sound crazy. But I don't know why John Harbaugh doesn't get more of the blame for the playoff losses than Lamar Jackson. Why is it always on Lamar Jackson? Nobody talks about John Harbaugh and the way he's coaching in these playoff games. Because a lot of these playoff games that Lamar Jackson loses, they're 3-5. I know he hasn't played his best football in the playoffs, but let's be real. The coaching staff isn't necessarily calling the right plays neither. In fact, let me hit you with a jewel. Let me tell you the 3 best wide receivers that Lamar Jackson has ever played with. He's played with Odell Beckham Jr., Sammy Watkins, and Hollywood Brown. Let me repeat that. The 3 best the 3 best wide receivers that Lamar Jackson has played with was an old, broken down Odell Beckham, Sammy Watkins, and Hollywood Brown. To say that they have not surrounded him with elite talent is an understatement. Lamar Jackson's best weapon are his tight ends. One of them being Mark Andrews, which is an elite tight end. Top 5 to me for a long time. I know he had a big drop in the playoffs. Big drop. I know everybody's saying that Lamar Jackson should have put the ball right on Andrews, but Andrews should have caught that rock. He should have caught that rock. But let's go. Let me rewind a little bit and go back to some of Lamar Jackson's accolades, right? Lamar Jackson, obviously everybody knows he won 2 NFL MVPs. It could have been 3. I'm going to be honest with you. If you look at his stats compared to Josh Allen's stats this year, he had better stats. But I understand that Josh Allen was working with a lot less. And I'm not mad that they gave him the MVP. I know a lot of people say, oh, they jerk Lamar Jackson. Oh, nah, I'm going to be honest. Josh Allen, you can't even name a receiver in Buffalo, man. Ever since Stephon Diggs left, they haven't had an A1 receiver since. They had an old Amari Cooper who ain't even show up. So Josh Allen did deserve the MVP last year, although Lamar Jackson's stats were better, right? I'm just, forgive me, guys, if I pause in between. I see a lot of stupid comments today. I know where they're coming from, but it's good to have trolls, right? Because it's good to know that people are actually investing their time to try to troll me on my live, which is fantastic because you know what? Love and hate is all good. I'm still a child of God. I still know where I'm going. And I guarantee you, more gifted than a lot of you. Anyway, let's get back to business now. Lamar Jackson, right? 2-time NFL MVP. 3 times first team All-Pro. And I always tell you, there's a difference between being a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro. A Pro Bowler is one of the best at his position, but an All-Pro is the best at his position. Okay, the best. So Lamar Jackson 3 times already is a first-team All-Pro. He's made 4 Pro Bowls. He holds the record for most rushing yards in a season by a quarterback, over 1,200. You understand how crazy that is for a quarterback to run for over 1,200 yards in a season, a quarterback? It's safe to say that to me, since the days of Michael Vick, you have never seen a quarterback as dynamic as Lamar Jackson. Now, Tom Brady's retired, brother. Tom Brady no longer is playing quarterback, Yuri. So I don't know why he's even in the conversation. Tom Brady's retired, and he retired as the GOAT with the most rings. So, right now, right now, to me, this is my opinion. Y'all can disagree. Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's the most dynamic to watch, and he's the most gifted. Now, we know that Jaden Daniels ain't too far behind. We know that Caleb Williams is not being coached by Ben Johnson. I expect him to take a massive leap this upcoming year. But as of right now, to me, Lamar Jackson is the most dynamic player in the NFL. My favorite quarterback. Now, we all know his career playoff record, 3-5. That's the question now, right? With Lamar Jackson. They say that he chokes in the playoff games. It is safe to say that Lamar Jackson hasn't had his best games in the playoffs. But is it all Lamar Jackson's fault? I remember one year that the Ravens led the league in rushing. And in the playoff game, they ran the ball less than 3 times in the whole playoff game. They led the league in rushing, but in the playoff game that they eventually lost, the Ravens ran the ball less than 3 times. That's bad coaching, man. I'm sorry. That's bad coaching. That's bad coaching. I think John Harbaugh is overrated, man. I think if you look at some of the teams that John Harbaugh has had, he should be winning some bowls, man. I know he got the Super Bowl underneath him, but why can't they figure out how to utilize Lamar Jackson in the playoffs correctly? You got the most dynamic player at the position, and every time they make it to the playoffs, they don't know how to put up numbers. Is it the offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, who took over for Greg Roman, who was terrible with Lamar Jackson? I don't know. I feel that sometimes, and I'm taking this in, John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the league. Don't get it wrong. But maybe just he's not getting through no more to the players. Maybe his voice ain't strong enough right now for Lamar. Maybe they need a change at the head position. You know, I would love to see John Gruden coaching the Ravens. I love to see John Gruden mentor and coach Lamar Jackson. Imagine how good that would look. Imagine if John Gruden put his hands on Lamar Jackson. Or picture Lamar Jackson in San Francisco with Schottenheimer, right? But I'm bugging, not Schottenheimer. Jesus, not Schottenheimer. Come on, somebody help me out. Who's the head coach of San Francisco? See, now I gotta look this up and waste time on this. All right, let me get this straight because it's not coming to my head. Kyle Shanahan. Jesus. Picture Kyle Shanahan with Lamar Jackson. Those are quarterbacks. Those are coaches that know how to coach quarterbacks, right? Kyle Shanahan. Sean McVay. Picture Lamar Jackson with Sean McVay. I wonder, is John Harbaugh the right dude to be the head coach of Lamar Jackson? I don't know. I know Todd Monken's a good offensive coordinator, but what's happening in the playoffs is crazy. They're going in there with the number 1 seed several times only to lose. Now, Lamar Jackson has done some pivotal interceptions in key moments. We know that. But a lot of that is coaching. Why is he throwing the rock inside the 20 when they're a run-dominant team? I believe that Lamar Jackson needs a new voice, a new head coach. That's my belief. I know he signed for a long contract with the Ravens. In fact, he negotiated his own contract, by the way. He don't get enough credit for that. You know how intelligent you got to be to negotiate your own NFL contract? Yeah, I know him and his mother managed him. Listen, the man negotiated his own contract and a good contract. Lamar Jackson, because he comes across lackadaisical, a little quiet, a little to himself. And I love the fact that he don't hang out with other quarterbacks. He said it several times. Listen, I'm not here to make friends, man. That's my competition. I just would love to see Lamar Jackson underneath a new head coach. Once again, don't get me wrong, John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in football, but it's time for a new voice in Baltimore. It's time. It's time. They need a new coach down there because I don't feel that this combination of John Harbaugh with Lamar Jackson is going to get a ring. Is Lamar Jackson going to be Michael Vick? Or do before the talent in the world that never won a Super Bowl, or Randall Cunningham? Or Donovan McNabb? You know what I'm saying? Similar game. Although he's the only other quarterback I could put in the same sentence as a dual threat quarterback with Lamar Jackson is Michael Vick. Randall Cunningham as well, but even Randall Cunningham, as phenomenal as he was, is nowhere close to Lamar Jackson's greatness. I mean, Lamar Jackson is a talent. You might never see another Lamar Jackson. Think about that. We might never see a quarterback coming to the NFL with the talent, the gift, and the ability of Lamar Jackson. I think when we watch him, we don't understand that we are seeing greatness. Greatness. When you see Lamar Jackson play, understand you're seeing probably one of the best quarterbacks you will ever see in the history of the NFL, the history of the league. That's how good Lamar Jackson is. His MVP seasons, his stats are crazy. Hold up a minute. When he won the MVP in 2019, listen to these stats. He threw for 3,127 yards, ran for 1,206 yards, and totaled 43 touchdowns with only 6 picks. Those numbers don't even make sense in the NFL, man. 3,100 passing, 1,200 rushing. Oh, by the way, in 15 games, not 17 games. Not 17 games. And in the year 23, when he won the MVP, he threw for almost 3,700 yards, ran for 821 more yards, with 29 total touchdowns and only 7. And anybody that's going to sit here and tell me that Lamar Jackson ain't the best quarterback overall in football, don't watch football, man. I know they say Patrick Mahomes. It's debatable. He got the rings to show it. But I also think he has the best coach in football right now, Andy Reid. Although he got our coach in the Super Bowl because he couldn't stop the Philadelphia Eagles pass rush. He couldn't stop that rush, could he? And he didn't make, but he made some adjustments. Halftime, they came out stronger, but he got out coached by a dude that they say is a terrible coach, the dude down there in Philly. All he does is win, though. Interesting, right? I think they're gonna have to figure out in Baltimore. The organization themselves are gonna have to make a conscious decision. Can we win with Lamar Jackson as our quarterback? I believe so, yes. But the owner has to say to himself, is John Harbaugh the right coach to get me a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson? Because it hasn't been working. And in fact, it's been ugly, right? There's no reason why the Ravens couldn't beat the Bills last year in the playoffs. The Bills had no-name dudes all over the field and beat them. On paper, there's no reason why the Ravens lost that playoff game. I know Josh Allen is old world. He's top 3 quarterback in the league, period, Josh Allen right now. But the Ravens were still supposed to win that game to me. It's too many games that John Harbaugh is getting outcoached in the playoffs. And they never mention him on a hot seat. Very lightly. They sprinkle it, but then it disappears. Anybody else would have been on a hot seat by now with the talent to have Lamar Jackson as your quarterback. Now, they got to do a better job of drafting, too. To tell me that Odell Beckham was probably the most talented wide receiver you ever had in Baltimore, and he was ran down by the time he got there, is crazy. They got to give him some weapons, man. Mark Andrews already getting up there, man. He's getting slower. They got the other young tight end. I like him. He's good. But let's be realistic, man. Derrick Henry ain't 25-year-old neither. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Henry's getting up there. They need to surround Lamar Jackson with some weapons. And you see what he can do. Give him an A1 receiver. Do what the Eagles did for Jalen Hurts and trade to get, My man AJ Brown. Picture of Lamar Jackson had a Justin Jefferson. If Lamar Jackson had a Garrett Wilson, and I'm a Jet fan saying that. You give Lamar Jackson Garrett Wilson with a strong run game, he gets you in the bowl. If the defense can just hold the opponent to under 25 points, Lamar can get you 30. But you can't expect Lamar, man, to get you 30 points with no weapons, man. Derrick Henry is a nice piece. They need another young, thoroughbred running back. They need better play calling in pivotal moments, and they need some offensive weaponry on the outside. The tight end game is strong in Baltimore. They got a good run game, but they can't throw outside the numbers, man. I know they got Bateman out there. Stop. He's not A1. He needs an A1. A Puka Nacua, somebody. He needs an A1, that type of talent. The Ravens better make a move and just draft and get Lamar Jackson some weapons, or they're going to continue to lose in the playoffs. I'm telling you. They're going to keep on losing in the playoffs. Not bad, Joe. I hit the. My guys, listen, man. It's around that time of the show. My favorite time. Take a little sip of water. It's GOAT Talk time. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite all-time players in the history of the NFL. In fact, he had a crazy return against my team. So I'm going to put, you know what I do? Put everybody's little favorite video up. And then when I return, we're going to have some GOAT Talk. Okay, my people. Yeah, that time, I might have to extend the time a little bit. I had to rush, put the hat on and all that. Anyway. Today's GOAT Talk is great, man. Today, we talk about one of the best corners to come out of Arizona State University, the Sun Devils. 8 interceptions in the senior year. 2 pick sixes in that senior year. Drafted in the second round, 30th pick overall, second round. Think about this. The GOAT I'm talking about got drafted in the second round, 30th pick by the Philadelphia Eagles. 14-year career that spanned 6 Pro Bowls, 1 first-team All-Pro, 2 second-team All-Pros. 54 career interceptions, named to the 75th All-Anniversary team for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he is a Hall of Famer. My GOAT is none other than Mr. Eric Allen. Cornerback, Eric Allen. If you were blessed enough to see Eric Allen play, you would know that he was incredible. Shut down corner. And man, when he picked the ball off, he's bringing it to the house. Do you know the Eric Allen? If I'm not mistaken, I think he's one of the only. I think the first player to do it. I think somebody else did it recently. But to have 2 pick sixes in the same game, he did it against the Saints. 2 pick sixes in the same game, Eric Allen. I remember him with the Eagles, but he also played with the Saints and he played with the Raiders. I even remember him with the Raiders making big-time plays. Man, Eric Allen was one of those corners that you knew will make a big game-changing play. To me, that's an impact player, man. Listen, there's a lot of players that act like they're superstars. They online dressed up like superstars, but do they make big plays in big moments? Eric Allen was a big-time playmaker when it mattered most. When y'all got time, look at the interception that Eric Allen had against the New York Jets way back. Classic. It was like I was mad, but then at the same time, I was in awe. It's like watching Eric Allen play back in the days. It's like he was graceful. Little dude, 5'9", 5'10", probably like 170 wet. But watch Eric Allen's highlights for the Eagles. You got to remember too that back in the days when they played football, it was a different, more physical game. I'm not saying athletically that the players were more athletic. No. These players nowadays are stronger, faster, jump higher, all that. But they ain't as tough as the players that played back in the days. Back in the days, you had linebackers that played with broken legs. Yeah. Ronnie Lott, right? There's a true story. Ronnie Lott, at the beginning of the season, hurt his finger. And the doctor told him, we're going to have to operate the finger and we're going to have to shut you down for the whole year. Check this out. They told him, we're going to have to operate on a finger and shut you down the entire year. Ronnie Lott said, is there any other option? Because I need to play. Jokingly, the doctor's like, yeah, we're cutting off your finger, but you ain't doing that. They said, cut the finger off. That's how tough the game used to be. Ronnie Lott cut his finger off so he can play instead of getting operated and sit on the sidelines. Please don't compare the modern day athlete to the football players of yesteryear. Don't do it. You're never going to see another Lawrence Taylor, another Reggie White. In fact, I think the last great lineman that we might ever see is going to be Aaron Donald. The quarterbacks nowadays ain't as tough as the quarterbacks way back then. They were getting clothesline, punched in the mouth, body slammed, blindsided. The game right now, and it's not only football. Basketball, they're soft too. They need rest days. Them dudes back in the days ain't rest. They played. But I personally, I think that has to do with the soft generation these days. Kids are coming up soft, man. Kids ain't playing in the schoolyard no more. They're being babied at AAU tournaments in basketball. These kids who play football are going to special private schools, but they're getting extra mentoring and making sure that they're getting rubbed down and stretched out the correct way and protected. Special helmets. Listen, bro. These kids that play sports nowadays are a little weak, bro. It ain't like back in the days. I'm not saying there's not physical, top-notch players in football nowadays, but they're not built like the players back in the days. They're just not. The world is different. The world has changed. Look at the NIL situation that's going on in Tennessee. That's a side. We're going to talk about that in another episode, but think about that. This kid was making already $2.5 million a season for Tennessee, and his dad and agent said, I mean, we could get $4 million off them. Let's get a little bit more money. Damn, you playing quarterback for Tennessee where Peyton Manning went? A legendary college? And you want more money? What the college did. Now you can bounce. We're done. We're good. Negotiations over. Bounce. We don't need you. Now I promise you, whatever school that kid goes to, it's not going to be for $4 million. He's going to get less. He should have just chilled with the 2.5, going to Tennessee another year, then come out. Because Josh Heupel was a good coach, and he would have made the NFL easily first round. He's 6'6". The kid is 6'6", 225, 230. And now he's looking for a college to play for because of greed. This generation's different, yo. They don't want, a lot of people these days want a lot without earning it. Let me repeat that. A lot of people these days want a whole lot without earning it. People want to move up in their job, but they don't put in the work. People want to maintain a healthy relationship, but they're not willing to put in the work. People want a nice body, but they rather get work done because they're not willing to put in the work. Nobody wants to put in the work. That's the reality. That's real. And you can get mad all you want, but it's the truth. Nobody wants to put in the work. Look, I started this channel. No help. Nobody promising me they're going to tune in. There's been times I'm on with only one person watching, but I'm putting in the work. I'm doing the research. I'm writing down the notes, making sure I deliver and come correct. Why? Because I care about the product I'm putting out. I want to make sure if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it with everything I got. 110%. No slow-mo. I'm going all in. I'm willing to put in the work, even the days when I don't feel like putting in the work. Even though I might be frustrated. Even though I might feel like, damn, I'm not getting enough. It don't matter. I'm going to keep pushing. And that's the difference with today's athlete compared to the athletes of way back. That's why Jordan never lost. That's why I get upset when people say that LeBron's better than Jordan. The dude lost 6 championships. How can somebody who lost 6 championships be better than someone who never lost a championship? But that's the type of stuff people talk about these days. Asinine comments. The mindset's broken, y'all. It's a different day and age, y'all. Everything's different. So when I tell you that Eric Allen, to me, was one of the best corners I ever seen play, it's because his toughness, his ability to make the big play in the biggest games. If Eric Allen played in today's football, the way the players are protected, he might have 100 picks in a year. But he had 54 over his career. So that's my GOAT, man. Eric Allen, once again, 6-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro. One of the only players to have 2 interceptions in the same game for pick sixes. 2 pick sixes in the same game. That's my GOAT, Eric Allen. Now, after this, we'll get back to Mr. Lamar Jackson. Yeah, so my people, I've been on like around 36 minutes. 37 now. You know, I'm not going to stay on too much longer. I do want to finish the show by saying that some of the people that have the most negative comments to say about people like Lamar Jackson, or people that probably never played the sport, or people that don't really understand greatness, it's like you got a lot of people nowadays that comment on things but don't really do the research, right? You got people that could hit you with 1,000 statistics, but never played the game, never knows what it is to get hit, to catch a ball. Yo, some of these kids who play basketball nowadays never even played in the streets. They don't know what it is to play basketball on the concrete in the streets. All they know is AAU. All they know is mommy buying them the best LeBron James sneakers or the Anthony Edwards joints. All they know is mommy keeping them laced up, traveling from Virginia to Philly, you know, just travel teams. You know how it is? That's why a lot of American kids ain't playing baseball, because it's so expensive to play baseball. Baseball bats are $500, $700, $1,000 for a baseball bat. You wonder why kids ain't playing? Who in the hood can afford those type of things? But here we got a quarterback in Lamar Jackson who negotiated his own contract. A quarterback that they said should be a wide receiver, but stuck to his guns, became not only a quarterback, but the best quarterback in football right now to me, Lamar Jackson. You can debate, like I said, Patrick Mahomes. That's great. My opinion, Lamar Jackson's better than him. So I leave you with this. In life, you're going to encounter moments when people are going to tell you that you can't do it. When you yourself, in your mind, would tell yourself you can't do it. You got to fight those voices off. You can do anything you put your mind to. If you put God first, trust the process, and put in the work. I have faith that one day Lamar Jackson is going to win a Super Bowl. I have faith that one day my podcast is going to take off. Do you have the faith necessary to follow through on your vision? And please be careful with who you share your vision with, because not everybody that shows up and smiles in your face and tells you, yo, you dope, but not everybody around you is going to support you. Stop trusting people with your vision. Keep your vision to yourself. Put in the work. You don't need nobody to co-sign what you have inside you. If it's there, that means God gave it to you. Execute the plan. Write the vision and make it plain. So I thank you for tuning into my episode, Lamar Jackson, the King with No Throne. And I called it the king with no throne because he has yet to win a Super Bowl. For a king to sit on the throne, he would have had to win some amazing battles. Lamar Jackson hasn't won that amazing battle yet. He hasn't won the AFC Championship game, and he has definitely not won a Super Bowl yet. But to me, he's still the best player in football. And that's why I call him the king, because to me, he's the most exciting player in the NFL. But he has no throne yet. Chase your throne. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Put God first. Write the vision. Make it plain. Execute the plan and keep pushing. Move in silence. Keep pushing. You're going to break through sooner or later. This is June, the GM. And once again, man, the GM don't stand for general manager. It stands for good money. Because when you invest your time in me, you can expect a good return. I love y'all. Peace and God bless. See you soon.